You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode 177. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to talk about somatic coaching. So if you've heard of this before, or if you are brand new to this style of coaching, I'm going to break it down for you. I'll explain what somatic coaching is, some assumptions that people have about it, and some of the best approaches to take so you can have more holistic coaching sessions. Now, we teach somatic coaching inside Thriving Coach Academy. So this episode will give you a nice overview into what this particular style of coaching is. I think it's a really awesome way to raise new levels of awareness and create powerful shifts with your clients. So let's start with talking about what is somatic coaching. So somatic coaching is an approach to coaching that integrates the body into the coaching process. So the Greek word soma translates to body. So you can think of the word soma, somatic coaching, as like body coaching. So it brings in the body, connects it with the mind, and it's coming from this idea that the mind and body are connected. All right. And you've probably had experiences in your past where maybe if you notice like tension in your body or a tightness in your throat or a heaviness on your chest or like pain in your head, how sometimes that might be related to stressful experiences that you're going through in your life. I know that for me, my body, I'm very sensitive to what's going on in my life. And I know that my body is giving me clues as to what could be there. When I was a teenager, I had a lot of stress and it manifested in my body. I was having a lot of heart palpitations and issues sleeping. And it turns out that when I was able to not just get some medical support and guidance, but when I was able to resolve the stress that I was going through in my life, all of those physical symptoms also went away. So I believe that there is absolutely a connection between the mind and body. And this is why, one of the reasons why it's very important for coaches to be aware of this, especially if you want to be a holistic coach and have a greater awareness of how to support somebody. So somatic coaching helps people become more aware of their physical sensations, of their body posture, and their movement patterns. And all of those areas can reveal deeper insights into someone's emotional and mental state. So why is it so important to understand somatic coaching? Well, the first reason is increased self-awareness. When you're able to pay attention and notice sensations in your body or how adjusting the way you're moving your body or positioning your body influences your state of being, this will help you better understand what you're feeling, why you're reacting to certain things, so you can have an overall better sense of self-awareness. The second reason somatic coaching is wonderful is it can reduce stress. Okay, a lot of somatic practices help clients release physical tension in their body, so it helps them feel more relaxed and have overall better well-being. And then finally, and I really love this benefit, improved emotional regulation. So you will learn and your clients will learn when they understand somatic coaching how to actually shift their emotional states by becoming more attuned to the signals that their body is giving them. So those are the reasons why it is important. Now, a lot of people, when they start hearing about somatic coaching, they have some assumptions that I want to break down for you. Some people assume that this is too woo-woo or new age, or that it's not based on any scientific practices. The reality is somatic coaching is grounded in many scientific practices of psychology, neurology, and physiology. So there's been increasing awareness of the effectiveness of somatic coaching in various therapeutic and also coaching contexts. It's also a myth to think that somatic coaching is only going to work for certain types of people. So you might think that someone already has to be like in touch with their body, or maybe they're a more physically active person in order for this type of coaching to benefit them. And the truth is, somatic coaching is something that all people can access and also get tremendous benefit from, regardless of how aware they are of their body and the sensations that they're going through, and regardless of their level of physical fitness. And then the final myth is that somatic coaching is only about relaxation. So somatic coaching, while it can be helpful for reducing stress, having more relaxation, it can also address a variety of different goals. It could help someone improve their performance, it can enhance relationships, and it could help you grow in different parts of your life. So I want to go over what are some of the main approaches that somatic coaching would be used in a coaching session. So the first one is breath awareness. The second is body scanning. And the third is body movement and posture. Now, we go deeper into all of these in Thriving Coach Academy. We have an entire module on advanced coaching techniques. And this is one of those more advanced coaching techniques. So it's not something that I would recommend that you start incorporating into your practice until you have a really strong foundation of coaching skills and you have a good amount of experience working with clients. So let's start out with breath awareness. So one way that you can incorporate somatic coaching is by helping your client recognize their breathing, how they are breathing, what it feels like to breathe. Maybe they're holding onto their breath. They're not really allowing themselves to breathe in. Maybe they're breathing very quickly, and we want to recognize what would be different if they breathe a little bit slower. So there are, like, for example, you might have a client who is preparing for a presentation, and you might be coaching them like a few days or the day of their presentation, and they have a lot of anxiety around it. So you can use somatic coaching exercises to help them and model for them ways that they can have deeper breathing. So that way they calm their nervous system and go into their presentation with confidence. So there's different grounding exercises you can do to help your client breathe. A lot of times when we're stressed, we are not breathing deeply. So we're not giving our bodies the oxygen that our cells need to really perform the functions they're responsible for performing. Okay, you probably noticed that if you've ever, been in stressful situations or you've seen others, and sometimes people will say, just breathe, keep breathing, right? We have to remind ourselves to sometimes breathe. So breath awareness is a great way to incorporate somatic coaching, helping to ground someone so that way they can breathe deeply and feel a greater sense of calm. Okay, the second approach to take in coaching is body scanning. So this is when you guide your client through a meditation exercise where you'll encourage them to notice any sensations that they're feeling in different parts of their bodies. So you'll be looking for any areas of their body where they feel some tension or discomfort and how that might be linked to different emotional issues that they're experiencing. So we might notice that there's some tension in our chest, or there's some, sometimes we describe our body sensations metaphorically. We might say there feels like there's a weight on our shoulders, or there's a knot in our stomach, right? Or there's a cloud or a fogginess in our brain. So you want to listen for different metaphors that your clients use to describe their bodily sensations, and then go deeper into that with somatic coaching to see how they can release that tension or bring awareness to those parts of their bodies. Okay, so that's how you would incorporate somatic coaching. There is your client notices where in their body they're feeling tension or stress or discomfort, and then we work through that to see how we can dissolve that tension that they're feeling in their body. So for example, maybe you have a client that has some kind of stress related to work. And through doing body scanning, they recognize that they have this neck pain that seems to become more noticeable whenever they're experiencing or thinking of the work stress that they're going through. So by becoming aware of this connection with the help of a coach, they can have some techniques to relax the tension that they're feeling in their neck and show up with that released stress in their work environments. Okay, so sometimes everyone's different. So if someone has stress in one part of their body, other people might hold their stress in different parts of their body. And it's a good question to reflect on. When you're stressed out, where do you notice that stress shows up in your body? Where do you feel tension, right? And then what would it, I love to ask clients, what would it look like if we were to dissolve that tension? If we imagine that there was this beautiful, warm, beaming light that's just going over your body, and as it shines on your body, it just starts to dissolve all that tension. So it's a visual that you can provide your clients with in sessions. And the third approach to take with somatic coaching is adjusting movement and posture. So this one's really interesting.
A lot of times when you're doing coaching sessions, you will probably be over the phone with your client. This is the most common form of coaching. But you might also have video sessions with clients where you might notice their posture, or if you're in person, you'll be able to see how your client is posturing themselves. But even if you're just doing sessions over the phone, you can still ask clients how it is that their body is postured, how they're sitting, how they are standing when they are describing the challenges that you're helping them work through. So we often will take on different body postures which could close off our power, our strength, and our confidence. So for example, I can tell you one from my own personal development journey over the past 10 years. When I was getting started in the coaching industry, I remember I was at a workshop and one of the attendees said that I was sitting in this way where like my legs were really tightly crossed together and my shoulders were kind of hunched forward and my hands were crossed over each other. And she said that it looked like my body posture made me look like I was very fragile or very like afraid or weak. And it was a really interesting observation. I just was never aware of how my body posture was actually affecting how I thought about myself, and people could actually see it as well. And it took time for me to start to relax my body, to sit and stand with more openness. So instead of like crossing my legs and arms, I started to uncross them. I started to let my shoulders just kind of rest back so my chest was more open. And I felt a difference in my own confidence level and my self-esteem just by adjusting my body posture. So you can notice how your client is posturing their body and what changes when they adjust that posture to another type of posture. All right. So one exercise that you might be familiar with if you've ever heard of a power pose, right? This is one way that many people are actually utilizing somatic coaching. So a typical power pose is when you're standing tall with your feet hip width apart and your shoulders are back and your hands are on your hips. So you probably envision like a Superman or Superwoman, like a superhero just standing tall and proudly and confidently. And if you're not driving right now, you can try this on for yourself. Like if you get yourself in that standing position, that power pose, you go from maybe being closed off and hunched up to having that open, confident posture. Notice how you feel differently when you do that. All right, so those are some different examples of approaches you can take in your coaching sessions that incorporate somatic coaching. So breath awareness, body scanning, and movement, adjusting your movement and posture. So let's say, for example, that there is a coach that's working with a client. The client is under a lot of pressure with their work, and the coach wants to incorporate some somatic coaching. So I'll give you a few examples, and then I'm going to leave you with some questions that can help you incorporate more somatic awareness into your sessions. So let's say that you have this client here, and the coach wants to observe the client's body awareness by using some grounding and breathing techniques. So the coach may invite the client to start to take some deep breaths in and out. So sometimes you'll have to model this for your clients, and you might count like 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale. So you might have your client do this, and over just maybe a few minutes, they feel way more calm. They feel like they can make more powerful decisions. This is a nice way to, especially when someone has leadership roles or high levels of responsibility, it's really powerful to incorporate some of the breathing awareness and breath control in your sessions. Let's say, for example, you have a client who is terrified about speaking in front of a group of people, but they've got to present in front of a group. So they have a lot of this fear, and they're coming to you to help them have confidence in their public speaking. So you may guide them to notice what kind of position they could stand in that allows them to feel more confident. And inside Thriving Coach Academy, we have like an NLP coaching training. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. This is an area of coaching that does incorporate a lot of somatic approaches where you can have your client actually train themselves to, when they're standing in one position, if they take a step forward, they can create an anchor. It's called a mental anchor. It's kind of like a bookmark in our brain where when we do something, it snaps us into feeling a certain way. So you go from standing in one area and then you take a step forward and you're imagining like you're stepping into this big beaming circle of excellence where there's all of this radiance and power, and you step into it and you feel like the surge of confidence go through your body. Now, I notice as I say this, you might hear it and think that sounds kind of crazy or it sounds woo-woo, but this stuff really works. And you don't want to assume that it's not going to work for your clients just because it's something different or it's something that you haven't tried before. I've done coaching like this with teams of executives, and it's been remarkable just to see the difference that it makes in their ability to show up with more relaxation, more openness, more collaboration with their teams. So that's an example of how you could use this with someone who's afraid of public speaking. Like they're able to step into a certain area, they could shift their body posture, and they go from all the trembling and all the fear to having this nice confidence and openness in their posture. And then I also love, just to give one more example, if you've just got a client who's struggling with their emotions overall and they're just not really so sure how to articulate their emotions, it's actually really powerful to start with that body scanning. So you can start there. Instead of asking your clients, what are you feeling right now? You can ask them to notice what sensations that they're feeling in their body. And this could be an easier way for someone who might not be as emotionally aware to begin recognizing what they're actually feeling and then how to shift from that. So your client might say that they feel some kind of like piercing in their chest, and it's like a burning sensation when they're thinking about a certain stress in their life. And you can help them, give a color, give a name, give a shape to whatever that feeling is in their body, and then see how you can adjust it. So, for example, I've worked with a client in the past where they said they were having this stress. It was showing up in the chest of their body, the chest area. And I asked them to describe, like, what's the shape, what's the color, what's the texture of this stress? And they said it kind of is like this spiky, rough, red object that's like floating around their chest. And then we started to imagine what would be different if this spiky, rough, red object started to turn to like a rainbow color, and it got very smooth, and the spikes started to smooth off and fall off the shape altogether. And it was really interesting, like just by changing the way that the client pictured the stress in their body, they started to feel differently about the previous stress that they were having. So you can be very creative and have fun with this. And it's really powerful to create higher levels of emotional intelligence for clients when they are previously unable to really talk about and express their emotions. All right, so as we wrap up this episode, I want to give you some questions that are really great to use with clients just to start going into this area of somatic coaching. Now, remember, these questions are not the end all be all. Inside the Academy, we're going to give you more thorough training and practice, and we'll give you feedback on your approach when you're using this in sessions. So this is just to kind of give you a way to dip your toes in the water. So a great question to start with is simply, what are you noticing in your body right now? Right? When your client has some kind of challenge, asking them, what are you noticing? Another question, how is your breath? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it fast? Is it slow? Another question is, when you think about blank situation, what do you notice happens to your body? Right? Or how does your posture change when you start feeling blank emotion? How does your posture change when you start feeling the overwhelm or the shame or the stress? Okay, how is your body starting to change? And then when someone starts revealing how their body changes, you might ask them questions like, what insights can you gain when you pay attention to your bodily sensations? Like, what do you think your body is trying to tell you? Is essentially what the question would be. Okay. So these are some ways that you can start out somatic coaching in your sessions. Again, what are you noticing in your body? How is your breathing? When you think about stressful situation, what happens in your body? How does your posture change when you start feeling blank emotion? And then how do you notice this? What insights can you gain from the way that this is showing up in your body? What's your body telling you? So those are some an overview of somatic coaching. I think it's a really fantastic way to support clients. It's a lot of fun. And before we go from this episode, I'm going to leave you with a clip from an interview that I had with one of our coaches in the academy. They're going to give you their experience in their coach training journey, some of their successes, and most importantly, their tips for people like you who want to also become successful as a coach. So listen to their story, and remember, we are starting our next coach training cohort very, very soon, the beginning of September. We're kicking off a new cohort of coaches. So if you are interested in joining us in Thriving Coach Academy, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Get yourself on our website and let's get you inside so we can support you. All right, enjoy our coach's story, and I will see you in the next episode.
My name is Melissa, and I discovered coaching when I was going through my own divorce. I realized how I had been in therapy for many years, but coaching had its own way of improving my life, improving my thought process. And so I hired a coach and could not believe how much value I got from it, how transformative it was to me, and then decided it's something that I wanted to get certified in myself so I can help other women that are struggling through divorce. After doing my own research, I realized that this was an incredibly modern, up-to-date program with incredibly rich content and great trainers, and it was a no-brainer. I absolutely love everything about it. It is incredibly well organized. I've never done a program that was so well organized, almost to the minute, in terms of the calls we do. It is just the right amount of information that you need to know to be an effective coach, and the trainers, the team are incredibly diligent in making sure that we perfect the skills, the art of coaching. And I have a paying client already, which to me was something that I didn't really have. I didn't have that in my goals until I finished the program. So I would say that's a testament to how well I've been trained so far, and I'm not even fully certified yet. And that to me was an amazing feeling, an amazing win. I realized that there are people out there that really value this and see the benefit of coaching, of being coached through divorce. Frank tells all of his students that are worried about putting themselves out there, would you rather be judged for staying small, or would you rather be judged for becoming really, really big? And as I am launching my business, as I'm putting myself out there, I'm seeing so many possibilities open up, not just within my personal life and how I apply coaching to my personal life, but to the amount of people that I can touch with coaching. I'm really excited about getting more one-on-one paying clients. And once I really get comfortable with that, my goal is to run group programs where I help women struggling in specific areas of divorce. I see myself hitting the 6-figure mark and then growing from there. And with the support of the academy, I know that I can expand while still being able to spend time with my family and be an effective single mom. One thing that's also amazing about it is the friends I've made. I've made some really great friends. Everyone is on the same path. Everyone has very similar values in terms of development and growth. And we all support each other, from the trainers all the way down to our peers and our peer coaching group. And another thing that I just want to say I was incredibly blown away by is the mental coaching. The notes we get back are incredibly thorough. And I mean, every detail is in there. So there's just an amazing amount of camaraderie, but then also one-on-one attention that you get as a student in the program. If someone is considering the academy but on the fence, the advice I would give you is to 100% go for it. This is not a decision you will regret in your personal life or your professional life. You're going to learn skills that can be used in any challenge in life, in any business or work you do, in your parenting. This is in your relationships. This is incredible value for your money. You're going to find yourself growing as a person, and you're going to find yourself growing in your professional life, and you're going to come out with a lot of confidence to become the coach that you know you can be.
Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.